We're outside the hangar. Of course, lots of great aircraft in the hangar here at Brooklands, but outside we have a 6R4, and it looks like a genuine 6R4 to me. And this is Ian Barkaway from Barkaway's Ferrari, who looks after the car. Hi, Ian.
Hello, very nice to meet you.
Am I right? Is it a genuine 6R4?
This is the genuine, this is the original Colin McRae Metro 6R4 that he did the Donegal event in 2006 with Nicky Grist. This is the actual car.
This is the very car they did that in. It's an amazing piece of history, let alone anything else.
It is. It's a historical object. I mean, sadly, Colin passed away. No, he went on to be world champion, but this was the only Metro 6R4 he ever drove. And when he was in full flight with WRC, he'd come out of Subaru, he was going to Ford. He came back to play in a Group B rally car just for some fun, and he won the event by, I think it was 40 seconds or a minute on me. He was miles ahead. So he did it just for fun, but sadly,
it would be really, wouldn't he?
Once when he sadly passed away.
Yeah.
So no, this is now history. This car.
This is a part of history, motorsport history, and here it is at Brooklands today. That's absolutely brilliant. So tell us a bit about the 6R4 we've got here.
The 6R4. This was part of the golden era of Group B rallying. Basically what happened was the manufacturers threw away the rule book, and it allowed the engineers to go completely mad. And ultimately that was the demise of it, because the cars got so fast, they went up and up and up in horsepower. There was quite a lot of accidents with Toivonen and what have you. They had to ban the series. But for those involved in that snapshot of time, it was just unbelievable. The drivers said they were the most incredible cars to ever drive. So this is a full fat 410 horsepower four-wheel drive monster, and it's still got all the original bits. It's still got the engine that Colin drove, the crash gearbox and everything, because it hasn't been, we don't race it anymore, it's too valuable, and you can't get the parts anymore. Getting parts for the original parts are very hard for engines and gearboxes and stuff, so we have to protect the historical significance of this. But it's great to bring it out to Brooklands and things like this today, just to make some noise and share it with everybody around who's really enthusiastic about the car. I mean, Colin's got a massive following, and it always draws a crowd.
And it's amazing. I mean, how successful this is a Metro.
Yes.
You see Metros and you think these little old hatchback cars driving around with your granny in them or whatever. And then we have this. I
think we've got Metro headlights. I think we've got Metro windscreen wiper stalks. I think the badge on the front and the rear lights is about the only Metro thing. This was developed by Tom Walkinshaw Racing, and the racing team at Longbridge that developed this thing. And so there was 200 of them made, of which only a handful were ever done as work spec cars.
Yeah. And of course, we get a lot of replicas made these days as well.
Yes.
You see quite a few of those around at shows and things. So it's great to have this one. There's so much. This is probably the top one, isn't it?
It is. This is and again, any Colin fan, and looking around the car, you can see it's still got Colin and Nicky. Nicky Grist signed this side.
Right. Yeah, we've got to see the signature.
Yeah. The seats inside the car have still got the scrutineering stickers from Donegal that you can see with Colin's name on down the back there, and they've still got Colin's seats in it. So it is as he left it. We took it to Scotland 2 years ago. There was a big celebration of 25 years since Colin won the World Championship with Subaru. This car had been off the radar for a while, but people saw that we'd been fixing it and doing stuff with it, and we took it up to Scotland. They had all these cars lined up, all the Subarus, all the Escorts, and this was the Metro at the end, and the whole family were there. So we got the family to sign the kick plate for it on behalf of Colin. So over the other side, there's Mum, Dad, Alistair McRae. Let's go, and it was just
the whole McRae family.
The whole McRae family very kindly signed the car, and they said, "Look, they hadn't seen this car for years and wondered where it had been." So we've got Jimmy McRae, we've got Margaret and Mum, we've got Alistair. They're all on there. Holly, his daughter, they all signed the car, which was really nice. So this is like a time warp car. This is all original from the 80s as it ran. When Colin ran this car, sadly soon after that he passed away, so the car wasn't used for years. So it is a bit of a time warp car, and it's still got its original engine, gearbox, everything. John, the owner who now owns the car, he bought it. We look after his other cars. and it didn't run properly. You couldn't start it. It was a bit highly strung, so it sort of stayed around for a few more years. And then one day he said, right, let's just get this Metro sorted. So we took the whole thing to bits. We had all the engine apart. It's got rotating throttle bodies. It's got the original 1980s ignition system on it. The wiring loom's all old, and so we just did everything on the car. There's a big half-hour YouTube thing on how we did it all, and sorted it all out. So now it works. We had to get an old original DOS laptop to run the engine management system, because you couldn't do it. And John wanted, the owner said, look, can we keep the old stuff on it if we can keep it working? So we ended up with this old computer, like an old Nokia phone. So then we had to find someone who could work it and program it. So then we spent ages programming it all and sorting it all out. Yeah. So it is a time warp piece, and it's got all its original bits on it, which is why it's significantly, historically significant.
Absolutely.
Today.
I mean, we can see that here. I just love the side indicator on the top there.
Yeah, yeah. The all lights, the all light. Yeah, if that comes on, it's going to be expensive. So, but as a car, it is a monstrous. I mean, I've driven lots and lots of cars. I've been doing this since I was 15. This is the most exhilarating thing you can ever go out in. This goes through the gearbox to the rev limiter as fast as you can change gear.
Really?
It's a close ratio box, and it is bang, and it's like nothing else. It tops out on circuits about 105, but you wouldn't want to go a lot faster than that in this, but it gets there so quickly.
But this is made for the rough roads.
Yes.
So it's not a circuit car, is it? So this is for going through a forest on a bit of gravel.
It is, and the four-wheel drive. The other thing with this, there's two things. One is it's the loudest car you'll ever go in, ever. It is ear-piercingly loud. This is like going to a 1970s disco and waking up the next morning and your ears are still ringing. It is ridiculous. You have to have the headsets on just to protect your ears, because it is that loud.
Well, if someone's trying to navigate for you in the other seat, that's going to be a little bit difficult, isn't it?
Well, they had problems when they were running these in the stages, and this has got the original intercom, and it's got a 2-volume intercom. It's got a stage volume and a road volume.
Yeah.
And there was a big problem that the cars were so noisy, the intercoms weren't loud enough, so they had to upgrade the intercoms. And they still got the original 2 buttons that when you press the stage button, it gets a lot louder.
Right. Amazing. So let's move to the back of the car and look at the business in here now.
So business end.
Now this is the exciting bit now. There we go. Whoa. Let's look at that.
So this is 410 horsepower of full fat Group B engine. Now this was developed by Tom Walkinshaw at TW Racing back in the day. It's a 4-valve per cylinder, 4-cam, naturally aspirated engine, very short stroke, but it revs beautifully. I mean, it's a masterpiece of an engine that ultimately went on to go into the XJ220 Jaguar. But you can see it's got underneath here, it's got great big tall trumpets, a bit like a sort of McLaren type thing, big tall trumpet, and a second set of injectors in the top.
Goodness. Okay.
So, and then you've got the gearbox, you've got the diff that sits at the bottom that's moulded into the sump, the gearbox at the front, and then the transaxle and everything.
This is a lot of weight in the back of the car. Does that affect it? Or?
Yes, they are known for spinning round on you.
Yeah.
I span this once, it went round on me once, it went round on Colin, and if it goes round on Colin, it can go round on anybody. It will swap ends very, very easily on you.
Yeah, there's nothing at the front to counteract that at all. It's just empty in the front.
Yeah, this is a car that it's taken me a long time to learn how to drive it and get to grips with it. But yes, if you don't respect this, it'll have you.
You can just imagine this out on those forest trails, can't you, really? I'm just trying to think about how scary this must really be.
Yeah. And it's the noise. I remember when we were competing back in the day, you could hear these, and when we were in our car, we used to run Sunbeam Lotus's thing. You could hear a Metro 6R4. When you were in your car with the helmets and everything on, you could hear these things coming through the forest. Monstrous machines, but it's a great piece of nostalgia. I think every time we take it out, the era of guys, the dads now that remember Group B, it's great to see it. Obviously, Colin had a massive following, so anyone who sees the car, which is why we bring it out, we won't compete with it anymore. It's far too valuable and historically significant, and we don't want to break it, but to bring it out to let people see it.
We've seen that here today. I mean, there's loads of people have been coming up and looking at this and saying, is that the Colin McRae car?
Yeah. The ones that know, it was down at Goodwood on show, and they said there was more people around this than other cars.
That's amazing.
It is the real car.
It is a great piece of kit, and it's brilliant to see it here at Autumn Motorsport Day at Brooklands.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
Hope
A
to see
pleasure
it
to bring
again.
it. Yeah. So,
Lovely, thank you.
thank
Ian.
you.